Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting episode of M.Brown Show. This evening, my guest, she's a special guest. Her name is Alicia Walker, and she's an author. How you doing, Ms. Walker?
I'm doing fine, and yourself?
I'm doing great. You have a pretty smile there, Ms. Walker.
Thank you.
Tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
Oh, I'm the author of Imperfection. I'm also starting to work with the homeless and the unemployed here in the Charlotte area as well. I'm also a part of the Poor People's Campaign. It's a movement to help out the pretty much the homeless and the unemployed in the city and surrounding areas.
So you're a very busy young lady.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Your book. What inspired you to want to write this book?
Oh, God. Actually, what inspired me to want to write is when I actually heard my best friend.
Okay.
His name is Steve Harvey. He don't know it yet, though.
Oh, okay.
That's my best friend. When I heard his story, it sort of inspired me because of his hardships and his, turmoils that he went through as he was coming up to be, what he is today. Mm-hmm. And that really inspired me, that he just kept going forward and moving forward with his dreams and goals. And that pretty much inspired me to want to write. I was like, if he can do it, I can do it too.
Okay.
And so it sort of pretty much inspired me from what I heard from his story, and I can relate to like a lot on many levels, from the Steve Harvey story that I heard.
So what would you want the readers to get out of your book?
What I would want the readers to get out of my book is to know that no one or nothing is perfect. That goes for anyone. We live in a society right now where your mistakes are magnified, and it's so hard to be perfect. So I just want my people to get, when they read this book, that nothing is perfect, nothing you do, is perfect. You have to just live life and make sense of it.
Correct.
For me, I'm created, through my God, and if he can love me through all my imperfections and my flaws, I just feel like, I'm just a perfectly imperfected person. I was created perfectly imperfected.
Okay, so that's where you got the title from.
Pretty much, because I'm a perfectly imperfected person. I'm created perfectly, and the things that I do is imperfected.
So where are you headed at as an author today? Because that's something that I see that a lot of people are getting into, so where does Alicia?
For me, it wasn't like a start out thing to like be an author. I actually wanted to like be in the medical field.
Okay.
But I guess God took me another direction. But at the end of the day, it's still all sort of coming together as I think about it now. But for me being an author and moving forward, I do have a couple of more books in me. I guess starting with this one. I want to piggyback off this one. I have another book that I want to come out with, pretty much what I'm doing and how I am in my life today, versus my past. And then, too, I have another situation that I just went through a couple of years ago that I would like to write about, and that was my car accident. So as an author, I look at everything moving forward, and I look for more greatness to come from, from writing.
Okay, how easy was it to be able to tell your story and put it in a book?
It wasn't easy, and I'm gonna tell you why. Writing my book was challenging. It took me 4 years to write this book. I started writing this book like towards the end of 2013, beginning of 2014. And as I would remember and trying to relive situations and experiences so I could write my book, when I say your mind is a powerful thing, I would be reliving these situations to the point I would taste the dope. I would taste the alcohol. Sometimes I can almost feel or go through the emotions of the acts that I was doing to get my dope. I mean, it was like just so unreal. So I had to like just stop, refresh, regroup, and refill. A lot of times, because I didn't want to think or feel that way. That's one place I would never want to go, or I would never want to wish that on no one. Being addicted to drugs and alcohol is something serious. It's a really bad disease, and it's something really hard to come from.
Okay.
So writing my book, it really was hard for me, but it really made me strong too, because I was able to get those feelings, pray about them, and let them go. But in the meantime, with writing the book, I would have to stop again just to refresh and regroup and get myself together and get out that space, because it would take me there, like literally there in my mind. So it was difficult at times, but I got it done. I finished my book August 2017, August 2nd to be exact. I did finish and get everything published. I got everything proofread. Now, with that being said, because my book is so raw,
Okay.
I went through 3 different publishing companies to get my book published, and due to the content of my wording, it's so street and so raw, they didn't want to publish my book. They wanted to change my words.
Okay.
And changing my words, it wouldn't have been my book. That wouldn't have been my story, which I have a problem with. Well, I had a problem with back in the day. We'll get to that later. But with the book being written, it was like really hard to get somebody to publish me at first. Again, I went through 3 different publishing companies. I ran across Miss Lisa Santiago. She's with Empowerment Publishing and Multimedia. And my friend Adrian Sundiata, he introduced me and Lisa, Miss Lisa Santiago. And Miss Lisa really, took my dream and put it in a reality for me. She made my book for me. And I really thank her for that, because changing my words to my story, it wouldn't have been my story. And I can't give you something that I didn't have. I can't give you a sugar-coated story, because the streets wasn't sugar-coated for me.
Correct. So
I had to give it to you how it was given to me, and that was the only way I was going to be able to free myself. So writing the book, it was challenging, but I got it done. I thank God that I'm able to tell my story, because I was able to go through the fire, but the smoke didn't kill me.
Correct.
So it was challenging at times.
Now I know for a lot of the viewing audience, they probably want to know, when did the addiction start and what made you get into that lifestyle?
Well, it's all in my book, so I can give you some.
Yeah, let's give us a little something.
My addiction started, my first love was alcohol. Just taking little sips here and there.
Okay.
Be at cookouts, fish fries, family gatherings, just doing stuff. And I just liked the way alcohol made me feel. And then it was to the point to where I would be drunk and wouldn't nobody know.
Okay.
So I like that. And then I can cover that with some toothpaste, mouthwash, peppermint, bubble gum.
Correct.
And I can, still have that feeling of the alcohol. So alcohol pretty much was my open, or as they say, your open gate to the drug way. And then from there I started smoking marijuana, but I don't think marijuana is a drug. I don't consider marijuana a drug. Then from there it was like doing the pills and the powder and the crack cocaine, which all came with the lifestyle I was living, because I was a stripper as well. But it's all, again, in my book. So it was around about the age of 15, 16, maybe, when I started taking like little sips and stuff. Okay. So I'm gonna say it was like, that's when everything pretty much started. I just didn't know that it was gonna snowball into what it did. And it did.
So what did your parents say to you? Did they see this coming into, because of your age? I mean, you know what I'm saying?
No, because they was addicts too.
Okay.
So No. They didn't see it. They didn't see it. I wish they would have, but they didn't.
So what made you stop that lifestyle?
Again, it's all in the book. I have a passion for life. I love life. And God blessed me with a little girl.
Okay, all right.
And that pretty much stopped my addiction process. The way that it happened, you're making me give my book.
Oh, no,
The
I mean,
way
that's
that
a
it
whole,
happened
yeah.
is that I ended up going to prison for something that I did, and I was looking at a lot of time, and they ended up telling me during the time that I was in jail that I was pregnant. And it just pretty much changed my life around. And then when I found out I was pregnant and how many months I was, I had 2 doctor's appointments, and she was here. And I asked God before she was born, I was like, if you can bring her here with no informalities, no disabilities, and just make her perfect for me, I wouldn't do another drug in my life, and that's what happened.
That's a good feeling, isn't it? You know.
Her name is Heaven.
Okay, I know Heaven's really proud of you.
Yeah, she is. She is.
And I know you have more kids. You know, how do they feel about their mother now?
Oh,
You know?
now they love. Oh, they always love me though. It's never been like I drugged them through my bullshit. Excuse me, but it was like I had a village, which is my family, my sisters. Thank God for my family. They stepped in the time of need. So when I was out here in my mess doing my mess, my sister stepped up and, you know, did what needs to be done for my other kids. And I'm grateful for that, because I could have really just really messed their life up, you know,
Correct.
just dragging them through my mess. And today we have a great relationship. Everybody is older now. They're in between the ages of 30 and Heaven is 11. So everybody is, you know, we pretty much good. We're pretty much good. They're proud of me and I'm proud of them. And they help me out a lot, you know, believe it or not, as far as, you know, my work and stuff. They really do. And they're very involved in a lot of things that I'm doing. They're very supportive. I love my kids.
I see you're getting emotional. I mean, does how you're doing right now, the blessing that God have gave you, what all makes you so emotional right now?
I got emotional when I talk about Heaven, because she's my saving grace. She is. That's why I tell people today, I try not to get upset and get back into that way of life, or even the violent part of it. She stopped a lot of stuff. I think about her and everything that's wrong goes away. Everything. Like, she just stops a lot of stuff. Like, for instance, the other day, I had a little situation and it got heated. It was an argument between me and another person.
Okay.
And I just had to really, really think about my daughter.